This by far was one of the hardest videos I've ever had to make, and this is the top 10 best mana rocks. And there's going to be a lot of stipulations in this one, but available to play in just about every format. That's the kicker. So, 10 best mana rocks. Welcome to the channel. My pack cracking family, Clever Magic Trevor here on the Clever Magic Community YouTube channel, and today we're bringing you the 10 best mana rocks. And honestly, there was 300 mana rocks plus. I mean, there was probably 50 zero cost, I think. I don't know. It was unreal. And then it's like, what do you count as a mana rock? And then also playability in all formats versus a few. So I just got rid of most of the older ones because a lot of them are only available in vintage, and then they're restricted even then. So you know. That really came into play with a lot of things, and I think this is 10 really good, and you can kind of jump them. The top ones, pretty much everybody knows for the most part. So shoot, number 10. Let's start with number 10. Number 10, Skyclave Relic. This one super controversial, super controversial. I'm sure a lot of people probably don't have it in the top 20. I decided to jump it up quite a bit, and the reason being is because you draw it early, you can still get it down for 3 mana. It has indestructible. It's still 1 mana of any color. But you get a late game, and it really helps you ramp to the larger spells and whatnot. It's it's only a 3-drop, right? Indestructible has the kicker 3. When Skyclave Relic enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, create 2 tap tokens that are copies of Skyclave, right? So either way, you get it in, you still get 1 mana. You kick it, you get 2 that become tapped, but the next round you got 3 mana that are indestructible, like Skyclave Relics. So I jumped it up quite a bit. I love that card. I keep seeing it in decks that are just stupid, so I said, you know what? Let's be stupid with it. Number 9, Fellware Stone. It's a 2-drop, uncommon. Tap it, add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce. Now look, this is pretty darn good. You could use it for any sort of colorless mana regardless, but you're in a multi-color or multiplayer format, more than likely you're probably going to have any color imaginable. Fellware Stone really comes into play with only being a 2-drop. It's just fantastic. So number 8, Gilded Lotus. Gilded Lotus is a 5-drop, but it adds 3 mana of any one color. So it's just huge. I mean, you get it in as soon as you can lay down, or as soon as you get 5 mana and you get it down, all of a sudden you're at 8 mana easy. So it's kind of a game changer, and then you get it late, and I mean it could just help out in a lot of those big spells late game and whatnot. I definitely have it as number 8. Number 7, Hedron Archive, and actually I kind of put a bunch in this group. I chose Hedron Archive because it is the 4-drop and it adds 2 mana, and it's 2 and and tap, and you sacrifice it and you draw 2 cards. So late game you can get your mana back, and when you don't really need the mana, it's super helpful. But like I said, I put a group in this. I also added Mind Stone and what is it? Dreamstone Hedra. And basically, Mind Stone is the 2-drop version of this, and Dreamstone Hedron is the 6-drop, and you get respective. Mind Stone you get to draw 1 card, and Hedron you get to draw 3 cards, right? So, but they're all in the same group as this. It depends what you're going to want to kind of use. So, I did add those together. Number 6, Thought Vessel. I just love this card. Personally, I don't like to have a maximum hand size. I'm definitely a control player myself, so I like to control things, and I don't have to play a card a single round, right? Yeah, I want to get down all my mana rocks, and then I just want to control the situation. This card is unbelievable at that. It's only a 2-drop. It adds 1 mana of any color, and the maximum hand size. I just think it's so versatile. Number 5, Commander Sphere. Now look, I didn't even have this in the top 10. And then I was like, what's the number one format, especially where people want to ramp? It's definitely Commander. So Commander Sphere kind of gets the nod. And what is it? It's a 3-drop, but it adds 1 mana of any color in your Commander's colors identity. But you can also sacrifice Commander Sphere and draw a card. So it definitely has that kind of Mind Sphere type of play to it. So right back where we left off without the dogs running through the underneath, trying to dig underneath the gate. Yeah, Commander Sphere. That was, this one, it didn't even crack my top 10. And then I started thinking about Commander more. And I was like, you know what? This, because of playability and the amount of decks it's in, this one deserves a nod. If not the top 5, at least the top 10. Okay, number 4, Chromatic Lantern. Man, this was an easy include for me. It's only a 3-drop. Lands you control have tap 1, add 1 add 1 mana of any color, and then this is add 1 mana of any color. Honestly, there's too many times that you're hung up on 1 mana, or you tap wrong and then you get late in your hand and you're like, son of a gun, I needed something else. This has saved me so many times. I can't even. That's the reason it got the nod to the top 4. Okay, it's too versatile. So number 3, Mana Crypt, and honestly, I love and hate this card. Okay, it's a 0-drop. Get it down right away, right? Add 2 mana. So let's ramp. If you're planning on doing like a 2, 3, 4, turn kill, then fantastic, because it says at the beginning of your upkeep, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, Mana Crypt deals 3 damage to you. Look, either you're going to life gain and you're going to help yourself, or you're going to deal some damage eventually to yourself, and you got to get things going. But it helps you ramp like no other, so I had to include it. I had to. I actually took it out of a lot of my decks, but I still have it in, too. Just it's a fantastic card, and it has its place for sure, and it definitely is in a ton of decks. Number 2, Arcane Signet. There's not much to say about this one. It's a 2-drop. Add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. And the biggest thing with this one is the fact that it's in more decks than any card, with the exception of the number 1 spot. And it's kind of the new kid on the block, but it's a fantastic card. But let's take a look at number 1. As you all expected, Soul Ring. It's a 1-drop, and you add 2 colorless mana. It's just too versatile. It helps you ramp too quickly. It's the number 1 card played in every single deck throughout all formats. Granted, Commander is played heavily more than other decks, and that's the reason. This one is basically how it is. All right, that's the top 10 mana rocks that I got. There's so many that I almost couldn't even choose. And I do like a lot of the Lotus Petal. A lot of the Lotuses in general are just super helpful, and depending on the deck, but they really were like, okay, but it needs to be included with this deck, or like a lot of the monoliths or something. You got to do something to untap it again, and you either got to have another artifact to untap it, or use mana to untap it. And I was like, I just can't include that one. They're not in nearly as many decks as these other ones. So this is the list I came up with. I know it's going to be super controversial. I also took price into consideration as far as playability and being able to get the cards, because like oh my gosh, the most recent Lotus, I'm drawing a blank, in Commander Legends, fantastic card, made the top 20, not the top 10, and a lot of it is the cost of the card versus how many decks it's in. So that's what I did. Obviously this is a very subjective statement. I'd love to hear what I missed out on. I'm sure I thought about it in my head and then just didn't include it for whatever reason. But I am interested in what you have to say, and we'll catch you on the next video.